Cheese gets a bad reputation. Too fatty, too salty, too indulgent. But what if I told you that the right kinds of cheese could actually rebuild your muscles after 65? That's right. The secret to staying strong and independent may not be in a pill or a supplement, but right there in your fridge, quietly waiting for you. You see, after age 60, most of us begin to lose muscle, a condition doctors call sarcopenia. It's one of the silent reasons so many older adults feel weaker, lose balance, and even struggle with daily activities. But here's the good news. Sarcopenia is not inevitable. In fact, new research shows that certain natural foods you already know and enjoy, can slow it down or even reverse it. And today I'm going to share with you 3 powerful cheeses that scientists and doctors are quietly recommending more and more for seniors. These aren't junky snack cheeses. They're nutrient-dense, muscle-building foods, rich in the proteins, amino acids, and minerals your aging muscles desperately need. Stick with me on till the end, because I'll show you not only which cheeses to eat, but also how and when to enjoy them for maximum strength and minimum risk. So grab a pen and paper, because you're going to want to write this down. Let's talk about why muscle loss becomes such a big challenge after 65. There's a medical word for it, sarcopenia. It simply means age-related muscle loss, and it happens to millions of older adults, often without them even noticing. Until one day carrying groceries feels harder, or climbing stairs leaves you winded, or you find yourself holding onto the railing a little more tightly. Here's what's going on inside your body. As we age, our muscles don't respond to protein the way they used to. Think of your muscles like a stubborn old engine. It takes a lot more fuel to get it started. That fuel is protein, and especially an amino acid called leucine. At the same time, hormone levels gradually decline, and many of us naturally become less active. Put these together, and the result is steady muscle loss year after year. In fact, research shows that after the age of 60, most people lose about 1% of their muscle mass every single year. That may not sound like much, but add it up over a decade for Hiromu. And it's the difference between moving confidently on your own or depending on others for basic daily tasks. But here's the hopeful part. Sarcopenia is not a one-way street. With the right nutrition, the right timing, and gentle activity, you can slow it down dramatically, and in many cases, even rebuild muscle you thought was gone forever. And that's exactly why the 3 cheeses I'll show you today can be such powerful tools in your everyday life. Let's start with one of the most underrated yet powerful foods for seniors, cottage cheese. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Cottage cheese? Isn't that just some old-fashioned diet food from the 80s? Well, let me tell you, this humble cheese is one of the best muscle-preserving foods you can eat out by age 65. Here's why. Just half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese gives you about 14 grams of high-quality protein for only 81 calories. That means nearly 70% of its calories come from protein. Compared to regular cheddar, where only about 24% of calories are protein. So cottage cheese isn't just good, it's in a league of its own. But it's not only about how much protein you get. Cottage cheese is especially rich in something called leucine. Think of leucine as the ignition key that turns on your muscle-building engine. As we age, our muscles become more stubborn about growing. They need more leucine to get the message. Older adults require about 3 grams of leucine at each meal to really stimulate muscle growth. And guess what? Just 1 serving of cottage cheese already gets you about 1/3 of the way there. Here's another reason I recommend cottage cheese to my older patients. It's incredibly easy to eat. Many seniors tell me they struggle to chew tough meats, or they simply don't have much appetite anymore. Cottage cheese is soft, creamy, and very gentle on the stomach. You can eat it right out of the container, mix it with fruit for breakfast, or even blend it into smoothies where you won't taste it at all. But your muscles will love it. And here's the part I find most exciting. The protein in cottage cheese is primarily casein. Casein is what we call a slow-release protein. That means it delivers a steady stream of amino acids to your muscles for 6 to 8 hours. Think of it like having a time-release muscle protector working for you all day long. This is especially valuable at night, because eating cottage cheese before bed can actually help prevent your body from breaking down muscle while you sleep. The research is impressive too. Studies involving nearly 1,000 older adults showed that those who regularly included cottage cheese in their diet gained significant muscle mass over time. The slow-digesting casein protein was particularly effective at preserving muscle during periods of low activity. So how can you make cottage cheese a part of your daily routine? Here are some easy ideas. For breakfast, mix it with berries and a drizzle of honey. For a savory option, combine it with chopped tomatoes, cucumber, and herbs like dill or chives. Use it as a protein-rich base for dips or spreads at lunch. At dinner, stir it into casseroles or even use it as a lighter substitute for ricotta and pasta dishes. If the texture bothers you, blend it with fruit for a smoothie. You won't even know it's there. For best results, aim for 1/2 to 1 cup daily, especially in the morning. After fasting all night, your muscles are most ready to absorb protein first thing in the day. That morning serving of cottage cheese can set you up for better muscle building all day long. So let me ask you, when was the last time you had cottage cheese? Would you be willing to give it a try this week? Maybe at breakfast? Now let's move on to our second muscle-building champion, Parmesan cheese. Or as the Italians call it, Parmigiano Reggiano. You probably think of Parmesan as just something you sprinkle on pasta. But this cheese is so much more than a garnish. It's actually one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can add to your diet. Here's why. Just 1 ounce of authentic Parmesan, about the size of your thumb, contains over 10 grams of complete protein. That makes it one of the highest protein concentrations of any cheese. For older adults who often eat smaller portions, that concentration is invaluable. But there's another reason Parmesan is special. During its long aging process, usually at least 24 months, natural enzymes break down the proteins into smaller, more digestible pieces. It's almost like the cheese has been pre-digested for you. This makes Parmesan much easier on the stomach, which is especially important as our digestive systems slow down with age. And here's some great news for those of you who are lactose intolerant. After 2 years of aging, authentic Parmesan contains virtually no lactose. That means even people who can't tolerate milk often do just fine with Parmesan. But Parmesan isn't just about protein. It's also a calcium powerhouse. 1 ounce provides about 331 milligrams of calcium. That's roughly 25% of your daily needs. Now, most people think of calcium only for bones. But here's the truth. Every single muscle contraction in your body requires calcium. Without it, your muscles simply cannot function at their best, no matter how much protein you eat. Research has shown that older adults who don't get enough calcium have a significantly higher risk of muscle loss as they age. So when you eat Parmesan, you're not only fueling your muscles with protein, you're giving them the calcium they need to actually contract and work properly. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Doctor, Parmesan is expensive. And yes, authentic Parmigiano Reggiano can cost more. But here's the key. You don't need very much. Just 1 to 2 ounces a day, about 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan, is enough to make a big difference. And when you buy authentic Parmesan and grate it fresh, the flavor is so rich that a little goes a long way. Those green cans of pre-grated Parmesan, they don't compare. Freshly grated Parmesan gives you better taste, better nutrition, and much more satisfaction. So how can you use it? At breakfast, sprinkle it over scrambled eggs. Together, that's more than 20 grams of protein to start your day strong. At lunch, grate it generously over soups or salads. At dinner, add it to vegetables, or make a protein-rich cauliflower or broccoli gratin. Or just enjoy a small chunk as a snack, maybe paired with some nuts or fruit. Here's your checklist. Look for authentic Parmigiano Reggiano with the dotted rind. Aim for 1 to 2 ounces per day. Grate it fresh for maximum benefit. So let me ask, when you use Parmesan at home, is it just a sprinkle on top? Or could it become a real part of your daily meals? Our third secret weapon is ricotta cheese. And this one is truly unique. Ricotta is made from whey, the liquid left over after making other cheeses. Now that might sound like a byproduct, but in reality, it gives ricotta some incredible muscle-building properties. Here's why it matters. Most cheeses are made up of casein protein, which digests slowly. That's good for steady, long-term support. But ricotta is rich in whey protein, the fastest absorbing protein you can eat. Your body can start using whey within just 30 to 60 minutes. Why is this important for older adults? Because after even gentle activity, like a walk around the block or some light gardening, your muscles are most hungry for nutrients. Eat ricotta then, and those fast-absorbing proteins go directly to your muscles, right when they can use them most effectively. Just half a cup of whole milk ricotta gives you about 14 grams of protein, similar to cottage cheese, but with a very different amino acid profile. It's also packed with branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, which bypass the liver and head straight into muscle tissue. That makes ricotta a fast-acting repair tool. And here's another advantage. Ricotta is smooth, creamy, and low in sodium. Many of my patients who struggle with dental issues or difficulty swallowing find ricotta much easier to eat than tougher protein sources. And with only about 100 milligrams of sodium per half cup, it's much friendlier for your heart and blood pressure compared to many other cheeses. The research is impressive. In one study, older adults who ate about 3/4 of a cup of ricotta daily didn't just gain muscle mass. They also improved their balance and overall physical performance. Some men even saw dramatic improvements in muscle strength after just 90 days. So how can you use ricotta? For breakfast, spread it on whole grain toast with a touch of honey and cinnamon. For lunch, use it as a dip or spread with herbs and vegetables. For dinner, stuff it into zucchini or bell peppers or stir it into pasta sauce. For dessert, mix with a little cocoa powder and honey for a healthy chocolate mousse. And here's my prescription. Choose whole milk ricotta for maximum benefit. Aim for 1/2 to 3/4 cup daily. Try to eat it within 2 hours after activity. Even simple activities count. So let me ask you, if you could enjoy a creamy, delicious cheese that helps your muscles recover faster, wouldn't you want to make it part of your daily routine? Now that you know which cheeses can protect your muscles, let's talk about when and how much to eat. Timing is everything. After a full night of sleep, your body has been fasting for 8 to 10 hours. During that time, your body may have actually broken down muscle for energy. That's why breakfast is the most important opportunity of the day to flip the switch from muscle loss to muscle building. Research shows that older adults who eat 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast maintain much stronger muscle protein synthesis throughout the day. Yet, the average American over 65 eats only about 8 grams of protein at breakfast. A slice of toast, maybe some coffee, and not much else. That's simply not enough. Here's the key. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein at each main meal, not just dinner. Spread your protein evenly across the day. Don't save it all for the evening because your muscles can't store the extra. And here's a practical pattern you can follow. Breakfast, cottage cheese with fruit, maybe topped with a spoonful of Parmesan. Lunch, salad or soup with Parmesan, plus a serving of ricotta in a sandwich or dip. Dinner, vegetables topped with Parmesan or pasta made creamy with ricotta. If you do any activity, walking, stretching, even light gardening, try to eat one of these cheeses within 2 hours afterward. That's when your muscles are most ready to absorb nutrients and grow stronger. So remember, it's not just what you eat, but when and how consistently you eat it that makes all the difference for your strength and independence. Before you rush out to buy all this cheese, let's pause for a moment and talk about safety. Most older adults can enjoy cottage, Parmesan, and ricotta safely, but there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, lactose intolerance. Many people lose the ability to digest milk as they age. The good news is that Parmesan has almost zero lactose after long aging. Ricotta and cottage cheese have some, but usually less than milk. If you are sensitive, start with small amounts and see how you feel. Second, blood pressure. Parmesan and some brands of cottage cheese can be high in sodium. If you're watching your salt, look for low-sodium versions and balance your cheese with plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. Third, cholesterol and heart health. Large studies show that moderate cheese intake, as part of a balanced diet, does not significantly raise heart disease risk. But remember, portion control is key. And finally, if you take blood-thinning medication like warfarin, cheese contains vitamin K, which can interfere with your medicine if your intake changes dramatically. The solution isn't to avoid cheese, it's to eat it consistently and let your doctor know. So here's the takeaway. Cheese can be a powerful tool for your muscles, but it should always fit into a balanced, mindful eating plan. Now let's talk about something just as important as food, movement. You see, nutrition and activity are like two sides of the same coin. Cheese can provide the protein and nutrients, but your muscles also need a gentle reason to use them. The good news? You don't need a gym membership or heavy weights. Simple, everyday movements are often enough. Here are a few examples I recommend to my patients. Standing up and sitting down from a chair 10 times in a row. Doing push-ups against a wall. Using light resistance bands, or even lifting water bottles. These small exercises, just 10 to 15 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week, send a powerful signal to your muscles. Stay strong, stay active. And here's the magic part. When you combine this gentle resistance activity with one of the cheeses we've talked about, especially within 2 hours after moving, the effect is far greater than either one alone. Researchers call this a synergistic effect. It's almost like turning back the clock. Even adults in their 80s have shown a youthful muscle-building response when they paired light exercise with high-quality protein. So remember this simple formula. A little movement plus a little cheese equals a big difference for your strength. So let's bring it all together. You've learned that muscle loss after 65 sarcopenia is common, but it is not inevitable. With the right foods, the right timing, and a little bit of movement, you can stay stronger, steadier, and more independent for years to come. We focused on 3 simple but powerful allies. Cottage cheese, soft, high in protein and leucine, perfect in the morning or before bed. Parmesan, nutrient-dense, rich in calcium, easy to digest, even for those who struggle with lactose. Ricotta, creamy, gentle, fast-absorbing whey protein, perfect after activity. Together, these 3 cheeses provide your muscles with both immediate fuel and long-lasting support. But here's the most important part: consistency. Eating these foods regularly, day after day, is what makes the difference. Think of them as daily investments in your future independence. So here's my challenge to you. This week, add at least one of these cheeses to your daily routine. Try cottage cheese with fruit at breakfast, or Parmesan on your lunch salad, or ricotta after a walk. Do it every day for 30 days and notice how your energy and strength begin to change. And now I'd love to hear from you. Which cheese will you try first? Comment below. Type number 1 for cottage, number 2 for Parmesan, or number 3 for ricotta. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who could use a little strength boost, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next tip for healthier, stronger aging. Remember, it's never too late to rebuild your muscles. And sometimes the secret isn't in a medicine bottle. It's in the simple, delicious foods you choose every day. Here's to your strength, your independence, and many more active years ahead.